Hey guys, welcome to Precision Machine Shed. So I got myself a new little toy here. I've been actually looking for one of these things for quite some time now. And what this is a new Hermes pantograph, basically. I forget what model this particular one is, but this is the motorized version. And the reason I got them is so I can scribe or engrave barrel markings onto barrels. Now, before I get started here, couple things. I need to make a set of jaws for this. This is just a junk barrel that I have in here for demonstrating, for purposes of demonstrating. And it just happens to fit in there. So I'm pretty new to these things myself. I actually have just had this one about a week, so I'm no expert by any means on this thing, but they are very simple to use. So I will kind of show you how you set them up and how they work out for barrel engraving. So if you look closely on this is the back arm here. There's a ruler. And I don't have it marked here, but I need to get a white marker. Here's the line, here's the marker for this back arm. I'll show you the back arm here. And the key to setting these things up, the big thing on these is making sure that each one of these arms is set up the same. So this one's on 5. So then we go over by our engraver head. And there's a little mark on the side of this is the spindle here, so that one's on 5. And then on the back attachment arm here, this particular one, see there's a little white mark right up there. This one's set at 5. So 1, 2, 3 settings are set at 5, and what that does is gives you a 1/5 size letter size. So back over to here, you can go to like 1/6, 1/5, 1/4, 1/3, a half the size of your markings, or half the size of your templates. This is my template. I don't know how big these are. We can measure it here. I believe they're about 3/4 inch. And they are approximately 5/8. So I've already scribed these on here, and we'll measure them when we're done here, but this is how you set this up. So I got my 223 Remington, which this is not a 223 Remington, but this is a junk barrel. So I just set this up in here in no particular special spot. So this stylus here just follows our template. Stick it in the middle of any number and push this down. So we'll push this down, and you can't see it, I'll zoom in here, but here's our spindle back here. So now our stylus is in the middle, and I'm going to push down here. And we'll see exactly, I'm going to look down the end of it, and I'm basically in the middle there. If you want to move it, loosen up this one. It'll make it go forward and backwards. There's one on a 45-degree one here. That'll make it go. Move this out of the way. Forward and back, left and right, sorry. And then our clamp, this is a clamp. And this right here, if you want to cant it, if you'd ever want to do that for some particular reason, you can do that. No need to do that today. So again, we're going to bring it out in the middle of our number, press it down, and I want to come back this way just a tad. So we're going to come back that way just a tad. And I'm going to call that pretty good. So my cutter now is directly in the center of my barrel. And usually you'd put this in the stock, and you put a marker line on here so you can know exactly where your stock line is going to be. So then we're over here on our 2, first number, that's there. And then our second number, our last one is going to be over here. Put that in the middle. It should still be good. Our barrel should be centered up. Alright, so then comes the fun part, actually trying to engrave this bad boy. So I'm going to put some safety glasses on, plug this guy up. And you got to remember, when you're in the number, you start out pushing your stylus down into your template, and then push this down lightly. So over here I'm in my number, before I start the machine, and then push this down ever so lightly. And you want to take several light passes, so don't push this down and jam it down in there right away. This will take a few minutes to engrave this, but it should look pretty nice when we're done. So we'll give it a go here and we'll see how it turns out. At the end of our number, we're going to lift up. I'm going to shut this off for a second. One thing I forgot to mention is, if you can see here, there's a little micrometer stop on here, and that will help us set the depth. Mine is set at 5 right here, but I'm only getting about, like a 10,000ths. I only want about 10,000ths of that guy sticking out there. Alright, so we're just going to brush it off here and take a look at it. Alright, so there we go. There's my 22. And as you can see there, I cut my first one a little deeper than my second one. I went over it a few more times, but let me flip it over here. There is one I did earlier. And as you can see, it turned out pretty good. The big two there, I started with a little larger font, and then the first one I did here, this is the very first one I did, the arms were not set at the correct, they were not in conjunction with each other, so I think one was a 4, or one was a 3, one was a 3, and the other one was like a 4 or something like that, so it gives you a goofy looking number. But there we go. I think it turned out pretty good. Consistent on how many passes you take for each number letter, you should get pretty good results. And if you want to do something like Cerakote this barrel, this should show up without any issues whatsoever. It's a good 10,000 steep, I would say, at least, on all these numbers here. Some guys that say they just use the diamond tip scratch method, which looks great too, but if you're going to Cerakote it, that'll probably wash out. There's a handful of guys that say that this method, using the motorized engravers, don't work very well. I think this one turned out extremely well, other than I'm not crazy about the font, but what do you do? So there you go. There's marking the chamber on a rifle barrel with a new Hermes pentagraph engraver. So I hope that helps some of you guys out. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, stay safe on your machines and shoot safe. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.